So after I was diagnosed with ALS, as I mentioned before, I went through this process of educating myself to try to figure out what it was and how to deal with it and so forth. During that process, by the way, ALS is a bunch of words put together, stands for something, it's a bunch of gobbledygook. Look it up if you really want to know. But it's also called Lou Gehrig's disease because the baseball player Lou Gehrig is one of the most famous people that came down with the disease. However, Stephen Hawking and quite a few other people have had ALS and died of it. So anyway, the more I learned about it, the more I realized this disease is just horrific. It takes so much. It what it does basically is it slowly kills your motor neurons. However, some people it quickly kills their motor neurons. So our body has upper and lower motor neurons. You need that to be able for your brain to communicate with the rest of your body to tell it to do things. For example, lift your hand, put your hand back down, and it communicates that way, and that's how your body works. So what it does is it kills those motor neurons, which causes your muscles to slowly atrophy and wither away because there's nothing communicating with them to do stuff, so they're not active, they can't function, and they can't live. So that in turn causes other issues. You need your muscles and to basically function in general, to walk, to talk, to breathe, to swallow, you name it, you have to have those things in order to function as a normal human being. And what happens is it takes all those things away from you. And it's different for every single person, which makes it frustrating, not only for us that are diagnosed with it, because we're trying to reach out to other people who have that awareness, that have the disease and whatnot, and ask them what to expect. But they all say the same thing. It is different for everyone, and it really is. Some people, it starts with them losing their ability to talk and to breathe. So it's upper. You lose this ability here. Other people, it starts with their hand or a foot or a leg or something. Some people start noticing that they start tripping for no reason. They're dropping things for no reason. They just start feeling like they're not able to do things that they normally would be able to do. So what happens with me, I noticed it with my right leg. I was sitting down and started noticing when I was getting up that it was difficult for me to get going. My leg just didn't want to function right. But once I warmed up, I was good to go, and I just thought nothing about it. I am in my mid 40s, and I just said, well, maybe it has to do with that. Maybe age is starting to kick in, and I've worked many years on my legs, so I just assumed it was that. In the meantime, I was dealing with a lot of other health issues that I still have yet to get figured out. And then it started getting difficult for me to stand up, for me to be able to function properly like that, just to just stand up like you normally would. You don't think about it. But then the next thing you know, you try to stand up, and you really have to push yourself up to stand upright. So then, that starts bothering me, but again, I just related it to age. Still having other issues, my blood pressure was all over the place, my heart rate was crazy. You name it, I was having a lot of issues. Nobody could figure out what was going on. Then, of course, I go through all those tests, and I won't rehash all those things. But what I've noticed is that slowly, about every month, I would say, something new happens with me. Right now, I'm dealing with my ability to use my right hand. It is extremely difficult to brush my teeth, hold a fork, hold anything in general with my right hand. And it's starting to slowly bend, and it's difficult to even use. Like, just doing that feels like I am working out, like full on working out. Every muscle in my arm hurts from me just bending my hand. So it's really interesting to, from an educational standpoint, it's interesting to me, but it's really scary because I'm watching myself slowly deteriorate and lose my abilities. You know, one of the biggest things for me is public speaking. I love public speaking. It is truly has become a passion of mine. And now I can't do that. I have a hard time standing up, just in general, for more than a few minutes without having severe pain. Just sitting for too long in one position causes me a lot of pain. So ALS is making my life more difficult as the days progress. I'll talk a little bit more about some of the other things in future videos, but this was just a start to sort of give you an idea of what's going on in my head.